reason for so much suffering with so many people is simply because they're measuring their life with the wrong things. You know, there's a few personal development videos out there at the moment, and it's good stuff. It's great stuff, and telling you how you can be successful, you know, sometime in the future if you do this, if you do that. That's great, but I'm looking for the change instantly. You know, I like the change before you leave the room even. And let me show you how you can achieve this. Imagine if your only possession in the whole world was a table. And understandably, you wanted to know the value of your only possession in the world, your table. So you pick the phone up and you ring a special table measurer. And the table measurer comes to see you with his special table measuring tape, and he measures your table and he says, it's 100. That's what it measures, it's 100. And you say, oh, great, it's fantastic. You think I'll get a second opinion. And you ring your second table measurer, who comes over with his special table measuring tape, and he measures it and he says, it's 1,000. So which one's right? Well, there can only be one true answer, and now they say both are. If that's what it says, that's what it says. So what do you want? Do you want 100 or 1,000 or 1,000,000? You know, often people will say to me, well, because I'm sure they do with you, how are you? And my reply is, I'm amazing. People have gone out. I can remember when I was in an airport recently, and the guy on the sales counter, you know, he'd obviously just been on some sort of training course. He was very loud, projecting, and he said, good evening, sir, and how is sir? I turned around on my heels and said, sir, it's amazing. You could have heard a pin drop. It was just like I'd shouted a rude word back, like I'd gone F off to everybody. Everyone like, how can he be amazing? Now everyone's pretending to buy perfume and looking around. They're not moving because they're so interested. Why am I amazing? Oh, and why is that, said the guy behind the counter. My reply was this: I'm not dead. Now for some people it's, oh look, get real. That's not a real thing. Oh, I'm not dead. Excuse me? 18 years ago, when I resurfaced from a brief spell in rock bottom, I wanted to really find out about life, and I went on one of the best courses that you can go on, and that is to find the nearest hospice to where you live and go and listen to dying people, because you see, dying people don't bullshit. They don't need to. And you imagine going to someone in a hospice and saying to that person in the hospice, well, it's not a real thing, it's not really a value, is it, not to be dead? What do you think they're going to say to you? They're going to say to you, get out of it. Of course it is. It's one of the most valuable things. Another example, a lot of people don't consider themselves wealthy. Why? Well, simply because they're measuring their life with the wrong things again. Watch this. Imagine you could have tomorrow $200 million. $200 million. Just a sec. Or not be dead. What would you go for? And of course the answer always is not be dead. And you think, well, yeah, it's a great little exercise that, but get real. Get real. If you were to look at people that had only got a few months left to live, I'm sure the majority of those people would more than be happy to part with the wealth that they'd spend their whole life collecting just to have another few years, or possibly even just a few more months with their family and their loved ones. If you want to become a high energy person, if you want to get your life on track, and the irony is, if you want more in the physical, material world, you need to become a high energy person. Start to measure your life with the things that serve you. Remember, when you change what you measure, only think with what you measure changes.